Hi, my name's Vicki. I live in Barrow, Alaska. I'm a school teacher here, and this is Knits at the Top of the World. So I live in Barrow, and I want to do this blog so I can show you what I've knit, what I'm looking to knit, and my stash. And then, as like what Little Bobbins does, I want to show you some of my pretty things. So right now, what I'm working on is I am working on this project from Shibui called, I'm not really sure, but it's this. I bought it on Ravelry. It's going to look like this when it's done. And I'm using Shibui Cloud and Shibui Staccato. And I chose the cream color right here. You really can't see how silky it is, but it's really, it feels like a cloud. I'm in love with it right now. And here's the cloud. This one was the staccato, by the way. Shibui Staccato, Shibui Cloud. And here's my work in progress. I have not gotten to work on it as much as I'd like, so I'll knot it up right now. I have been working many hours at school. It's the beginning of the school year still, and we still haven't gotten the caseloads settled up yet. But I'm hoping I will have more knitting time coming up, and I now work with 3 knitters, so that's going to be a lot of fun, and we're planning knitting nights. But see, I'll let you see. And I'm making these on a pair of Chiagu needles, and they're size 6, I believe. So that's one thing in my queue. I'll just put it back in my yarn bag. And I'm keeping it in a yarn bag that I made from a pattern my mom made. By the way, hi Mom! Then the next thing I want to show you would be my mittens. I'm doing them on a pair of Chiagu double pointed needles, size 4s. So here are my Chiagus. It's going to be a pattern I got for free off of Ravelry that has a chevron pattern, and I'm going to be doing it in this color and then in a blue color. So this headband wasn't actually made in Barrow. It was made in the village I lived in last year, Tuluksak, and it was a gift from my teacher's assistant, Megan. Hi, Megan. And it was made by somebody in the village, and she bought it for me for Christmas. And you can see they sewed on a little butterfly. It's hard to tell. They made this beautiful little flower, and it's double thick. And it is the best thing I've ever had. I wear it under my fur hat on cold days. Keeps my ears really good in the morning, too, when I'm walking from work. Another beautiful thing that the women and the men here do is baleen carving. So Barrow is one of the few places where you can hunt whales, and every fall there's a whale hunt, and they have baleen that they take from the whale, and they do these fantastic pictures on them. So it's etched in, and so there's a nice picture of walruses sitting on the ice. This is the crest of the sea ice, and then a polar bear with a leopard seal. And this one was made by Carlson Segavin in Barrow, Alaska, 2015. And I bought this actually at the local grocery store. They sell this in front of the grocery store, and it's probably the coolest thing I own right now. This is probably going to go home and live at my parents' house. I'm going to probably buy some more, though, because my class right now is pen pals with a class in Florida, which is where I'm from. And we're going to be sending them a piece of baleen, I believe. Another cool thing about Barrow is you can find the weirdest things on our beach. The other night I found some casings on the beach. Don't know what kind of ammo it goes to, but it was floating up on the beach, and it's full of sand, which I just dumped on my kitchen table. And then our beaches are rocky, and they're filled with these little flat rocks, which is part of my pretty things. I really like these flat rocks. I think I'm going to get myself a centerpiece when I'm in Anchorage next weekend and save all of my flat rocks and my sea glass, which I have a nice collection going of sea glass. So, on to projects that I'm working on again. Sorry, I'm a little distracted today. So, in this bag, I am working on a cowl that I started last fall or last spring in Anchorage and just set it aside for the summer because I didn't want to work on it while I was home. But this cowl is made in nice earthy tones. It's, now I can't remember the name, but it's a nice brand of yarn. I bought it at Far North's Knits, I believe is what it's called in Anchorage. I'll double check that though and put a link for it. Very cool little yarn shop in Anchorage. Easy to get to, open most days of the week, and they're totally okay with you hanging out and knitting in there. But I really love this color yarn. I think I paid like $20 for it. Really inexpensive. And it's on my Addie's Clicks. And I house it in this little bag my mom made me. Also one of her patterns. Let's see what else I can show you that I'm working on. I have yet to start this project, but I will be soon because it's for Game of Thrones. And I'm going to be using quince yarn. I'm using the color Steel. And to me it looks silver. To some people they tell me it looks green. Somebody else told me blue. But to me this looks silvery gray. And I'm going to make the Game of Thrones Winter is Coming shawl off of Ravelry. I haven't bought it yet. Or maybe I have. Sometimes I buy things before I remember. Nope. Did not buy it yet. But I am making it hopefully with a pair of Chiagoos, if not my Addie Clicks. And it'll be like this. I rolled one already with my ball winder. I bought a ball winder before I left Florida because I plan on ordering lots of skeins while I'm here. I'm going to have to do a lot of knitting. Not a lot of outdoors times when it's negative 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 according to my 13-year-old students. It does get to negative 70 here. And I've already got my winter clothes out. I've already started wearing my red coat to school every morning. I am dreading the day I'll have to wear my big blue puffy coat. And I will eventually have to buy myself a real parka. So the next project that is in my queue is this lovely cowl that came with a post-stitch box. A post-stitch box is this really cool box that you can order from poststitch.com. It's about $65, and they will send you the yarn, the needles, and any supplies else you'll need for it. And sometimes there's even enough supplies to make 2 projects. Oh, and the instructions for the project. I did not want to bring my originals, so I made a photocopy because I didn't want them to get damaged. I was gifted a post-stitch box before I left home. So, it came with Spud and Chloe yarn, and it's going to make this lovely little cowl. And once I start, I will tell you it's called the Cupid Cowl, and you can get it on Post-Stitch or through Spud and Chloe or through Ravelry. So this is the blue color I'm also doing it in. So it's a purple and this bluey sea foam color, and I'm just combining them. And that's what I'm currently working on. I'm going to put the link for this pattern below because it's free on Ravelry. Super easy so far. I'm hoping to finish it by the end of Labor Day weekend. I'm going to take it with me to Anchorage when I go up. Or down. Everything's down from here. Yeah, so that brings me to, I live in Barrow, Alaska. It's August 31st today, and it is a warm 35 degrees. Last week it was snowing most of the week. There's no snow on the ground yet, but soon. There's ice in the mornings usually. So being a knitter here is kind of interesting. And most of the women here who live or who are from Barrow and who are native do not knit. They crochet, and they make these fantastic headbands. Here, I'm going to grab one. It's actually one of my... So I just wanted to show you guys another lovely thing you can do with post-stitch. This was the Scroll lace scarf, and it was a post-stitch set. It came with Chiagu needles. It came with purple yarn. I decided to use Big Bad Wolf yarn, which I really enjoy. It's really soft. Here, so you can see the halo a little, see the coloring. But I used a different size yarn, and so my gauge came out a little different. Wasn't bad though. I really enjoy it, and I enjoy the feel. And I'm saving the purple yarn for another project. this is my Postage Scroll Lace Shawl, which is still available on Postage.com. They also have a Sock of the Month club that they do. It's pretty cool. So right now my stash is unusually large. It's 2 whole bags of yarn. For me, living in Bush, Alaska, this would have lasted me a few weeks. Here I don't have to worry so much, and so I can keep ordering, but when I did leave home, I did leave with a ton of yarn. So I wouldn't have to go and grab some as much at first. So this is a nice green wool. I believe this was Cascade wool. And so is this. It's a nice blue that goes with the Cascade wool. I have more of the Rowan wool that I was using to make my mittens. 2 skeins of that. I figure when I'm done with my mittens, I may make a hat or a cowl, maybe another scroll lace, or not scroll lace. I forget what this cowl is called. And Amy will remind me. She owns Postage. I've got this lovely yarn that came with a Postage pattern, and I have the pattern somewhere. It is in my bedroom, somewhere in there. I will find it though. But I really like this yarn. It's really pretty. It's kind of got this nice ombre quality to it. And I believe it makes a nice cowl. That's what the pattern's supposed to be. Also a Postage box. Came with everything you need. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I tried to do all my summery easy knits when I was home for the summer in Florida, because that's where my parents are right now, and brought up all of my wintry, warm, bulky stuff here so I could have time to work on it. Just in the long scheme of things, I did not plan on the beginning of my school year being so rocky. Then I've got this lovely cotton yarn. I don't know what it is or where it came from. I got this from my mom's stash. I'm borrowing it because it feels really nice, and it's too nice to make dishcloths out of, which I'm going to start making some dishcloths. The woman I'm working with right now, who's substituting my class, said that she's been making dishcloths for a while, and she's going to show me her pattern to do it, because I am running out of money to be buying sponges every few weeks. Then I've got leftovers from a sweater that I just finished making. And there are not a ton of leftovers, but I'm going to try to see if I can make some of those headbands, but try to do it a knit version, because I have some little girls in my class and I might want to gift them that. Same with this bulky wool yarn. It's older. Don't really remember where I got it from, but I thought it'd be nice to make a nice headband out of it. And this I was going to use for my Hexie Puff quilt, which I will bring out in a little bit so you guys can see. It's not the right size for Hexie Puffs, I know, but I really like the coloring and a little adjusting to my Hexie Puffs, and it'll fit fine. So that was what was in the first bag. And again, this was a bag that I made out of a pattern that my mom came up with. I'm going to have her write it down so maybe I can post it below. In this bag, I've got some Lion Brand spun wool. I went to the Lion Brand store about 2 years ago in New York City. It was an amazing experience. I know Lion Brand is cheaper yarn. It's not the best quality always. But actually going and visiting their store and visiting essentially their whole headquarters for the beginnings of the Lion Brand kind of changed my mind about how they do things. They've got this awesome store where you can go in and get free help on certain days of the week. They also have classes there. They show you, they have more higher quality products that are on sale there versus what would be at Joann's or Michael's. Kind of changed my mind. This was something I picked up in Anchorage. It's sport weight. I think it's for babies. Yeah, it's Dale Baby Wool. But it's a pretty color. I love the coral. I thought it would be good for more Hexie Puffs. I'm a little Hexie Puff obsessed right now. And so I got it. This is Malabrigo. Yeah, Malabrigo. I bought this at a Good Yarn in Sarasota, Florida. I have another skein of this. It's going to actually be a blanket. It's made in lace weight. It's going to take me years. And I honestly don't know where I put the blanket when I was unpacking. It's somewhere in here. I just have to find it. I know where everything is out here. The bedroom, I never actually unpacked a ton. I started work within days of moving here, so there's that. This is quince. I don't remember what color game it is. I know it's quince though, and it's tied off still. This I used to make this. I had some left over. I think there was actually enough for me to make a whole nother one, but I did not want to do that. I actually think I'm going to make some nice hand mitts. I think maybe some aspen mitts, which I'll put the link for the aspen mitts on the Ravelry page in the link below because aspen mitts are my favorite. This is some Swan Island, which is what I made my own pair, my first pair of aspen mitts in. I'll have to bring those out right now. They're actually in my backpack for work because I wear them on my way to work in the mornings. It's really cold here. And I do love this. I love the Swan's Island coloring. And I'm going to save this. I might make another pair for a friend. This is the Big Bad Wool. I have a ton of this in this color. I've got this skein, this skein, this skein, this skein. So that's 4. I've got 5 skeins of this. I'm going to come up with a project that's fairly large and do it with this, other than just my scroll lace shawl. I was thinking a set of mittens, a matching hat, something. But I clearly am obsessed with this yarn. And I know it's hard to show you through the computer, but it feels amazing. I've never had yarn that felt so lovely and so textured. It's soft. I don't think it's really going to pill. It was fairly inexpensive for what it was. It's 95 yards. Yeah, 95 yards per 50 grams, which is what this is. And it was $12 a skein at a good yarn in Sarasota, Florida. And I love it. I bought a ton of it before I left because I was scared that I'd get here and not have projects or not have yarn, which I clearly am not lacking right now. And then this is some leftover sock yarn that I'm using to do some Hexie Puffs with. And so next I'm going to show you my Hexie Puff quilt. I'm just going to try to put all of this away first. So this would be my Hexie Puff quilt. It's actually now to the point where it's the same size as me. I can cover my middle. And I have not put in all the ends at the back. Last winter I sucked at that. But you can see I worked on learning some little patterns. I made the rooster for my mom and for our chicken coop. Got a mermaid in there somewhere. There she is. Not very well done, but she's in there. And a little tiny sailboat. And somewhere in here I attempted to do some cabling. Oh, there's my cabled owl and my teapot. Some Fair Isles. There's more of that yarn that I had earlier that I was showing. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, my rose. That was supposed to be a moon. It came out like a C. One of my students told me last year that it was C for his name. And then my cupcake. Right there at the bottom. There's about 200 Hexie Puffs in this right now. It feels like the project that's never ending. I started it when I was a junior in college. 2 years out of college, still on the job. And I'm still making Hexie Puffs continuously. Right now I've got like 6 I need to add to this. But it'll forever be a work in progress, I think. And I may not weave in the ends, and I may just put a fabric backing on it and cheat. So that's my Hexie Puff quilt. It could be worn very nicely like this, I think. And not gonna lie, last winter I may have done this. Last winter my house was not an apartment where I didn't have a floor below me to keep my feet warm. This year I'm on the 2nd floor of an apartment. It's a good deal for me. So just to wrap up my video blog, I'm Vicki. I'm going to be at the top of the world, knitting at the top of the world. And I would really like it if somebody would subscribe. I'm going to look into making a Ravelry group and possibly an actual blog spot. Not real sure how to do that. But so far, I'm going to kind of take us around what I'm doing knitting. I think my next video blog, I'm going to go down to the AC, which is the Alaska commercial store, the AC store, which is our big grocery store. And it also serves as the sell-all store. You can buy furniture, a four-wheeler. They sell four-wheelers in the freezer aisle. I'll take a picture of that for you guys. But I wanted to take you down to see the yarn section of all 8 colors of yarn that they sell in 3 pairs of needles. But that's a pretty big deal that they have that at all. So I figured we could stop and look at that. And I do think I'm going to eventually try to explore down to the fabric shop here in town. I think it's at the fur shop too. But then next weekend I'm going to be in Anchorage, so I am going to definitely video sometime in the yarn store there in Anchorage that I like going to. Also, I'm going to be going to Raven's Crafts on 5th Ave in Anchorage. And I'm going to be buying some batik fabric. I'm hoping I'll get some more project bags. And yeah, my blog is mostly going to be about what's going on here in Barrow, about knitting and about stashes. And if there's anything else you want me to talk about, please just message me. I am willing to answer any questions you have too, because I know Barrow is one of those places where there's lots of questions. And yes, we did have 24 hours of daylight this summer. Now the sun sets at like 9:50-ish. It's starting to set now. It's about 9:40-ish. So the sun's setting fairly early right now, considering we're losing 30 minutes of daylight a day right now, and by November it will be completely dark. So those are the big questions I know people are always asking. And have I seen Northern Lights yet? Not yet. I've been in Alaska now a year and a month. I have not seen the Northern Lights yet, but hopefully soon. So I'm Vicki. This is Knitting at the Top of the World, and thank you.